Want to cry from watching a movie? I don't even know how to do a witty intro on this one. It's just, do you want to cry uncontrollably from watching a movie? Last night I watched Strada, a 1954 movie by Federico Fellini, and I think I'm ready to call it. For me, from what I've seen personally, as of right now, I think Fellini is the greatest director to ever do it. The way I personally value movies is how much they emotionally move me. I'm not saying that's right, but that's what I'm looking for. Whether it's joy or depression or anger or wistfulness or grim insight into the dark side of the nuclear family, I'm personally looking for impact. And for me, even though I've only seen 4 Fellini movies so far, I can't think of another director who has 4 movies that have resonated as much and devastated me as much. My friends and I have been doing a Fellini movie night for the past several weeks, and I think I'm going to have to stop doing it because of how upset they're making me. Eva Deloney was the first one I watched, and as a man-child, it was kind of wretched and upsetting to see myself portrayed with that much sort of grim hopelessness. Il Bidoni was next, and if you have any guilt over participating in capitalism and all its inherently predatory ways, and how it's inherently alienating, and how it ruins chances at belonging and connection, I would be hesitant of watching it. Then came Knights of Cabiria, which I made a short video about on my channel last week about how upsetting it was, but at least that had a kind of hopefulness paired with the incredibly sad and grim story. But my goodness, Strada. There's a 1,000-pound weight on my soul after watching this movie. It's about a small-time traveling strongman named Zampano in poor post-World War II Italy. The movie opens up with him visiting a woman with several small children and a suspiciously bigger person playing with them, and you learn that Zampano's former assistant is gone. She was the sister of this group, and now he's back to essentially quote-unquote buy another sister, which the mother does. She sells her. She needs the money to feed the rest of her children. So we're already kind of starting out insanely sad. But the young woman, Gelsomina, is also somewhat mentally challenged. Simple-minded is how they say it in the film. And so they start to travel. And she's his assistant. And, quoting from Wikipedia here, despite her willingness to please, he intimidates her, forces himself upon her, and treats her cruelly at times. But despite that, she, on some level, finds a joy in being able to see the world, to get out of her village, and to learn to play the trumpet, and drum, and dance, and entertain crowds. And so you're following them as they go from town to town. I don't really know how to describe the relationship between Gelsomina and Zampano, but they're both extremely lonely, and there is, despite all the sorrow and tragedy and sadness and abuse, a kind of love that develops for each of them. Not between them, because they don't and can't know each other by definition, but a love in each of them for each other in their own way, in a way that kind of they can't really understand. Gelsomina, despite her condition, has a kind of love for him born out of pity. On some level, she knows that he's not a good person, and it's a kind of, well, someone has to love him type of thing. And for Zampano, his love is kind of a self-hatred and a fear of loneliness, but it eventually becomes something else, and despite you starting out thinking, I'll never pity this man, you will by the end. And it's simply the greatest movie ever made about 2 broken people who spend some amount of time together. And if you've ever felt any type of guilt over how you might have hurt someone or treated someone, which I think is a universal experience, then you will probably end up the same way I did several times in the days after the movie. Catatonic, devastated, permanently changed. God damn it. Yeah, if you want some of that, it's a recommend. One of the 10 or 15 best movies ever made. Thanks for watching, and please like and follow.